If you were wondering if ChatGPT could help you make a game, the answer is yes. It helped me put together this super simple browser game, but without it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And it uses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it was pumping out the JavaScript like nobody's business every time I asked it a very specific question. And you'll see up here we got lives, we got a score. If I were to bump into an enemy, I would lose lives, and if I pick up gold coins or any other treasure, then I gain some score. And honestly, with the way that it's looking, it would be able to help me figure out any part of this whole game. So look at this. Is it possible to limit the mouse speed in the browser game? Anyway, watch the rest of this video and you'll get an idea of how I started, where I got to, and how far I continue to go. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hey everybody, I'm over here with ChatGPT and we're making a game together. So I just wanted to show you guys exactly what I've been going through to get to where I've gotten, and I'm very impressed with it so far. It's going to be amazing to use for teams of people who can use it in their pipelines. And so yeah, I just wanted to show you its capabilities just as I'm getting started. And I think you'll be really impressed with what it can do. So to start off, I just asked, is it possible to make a game with HTML and CSS only? That's what I'm familiar with the most. And it gave me a very guessable answer, which is that in order to create a more advanced game, you'd need a programming language such as JavaScript. So perfect. I asked it which would be the main files that I would need for that, and it went ahead and told me basically the HTML file, the CSS file for styling, and then the JavaScript file will be where all my programming is. So that was perfect. So I said, all right, what would be good file name examples for those three files? And it went ahead and told me index.html, styles.css, and scripts.js. And then it even suggested you could also name them, for example, game.html. So from web design, I already know that these are interchangeable. It was nice to see that I can also name the script file whatever, and then I'm just basically calling for it in the head. So I'm learning as I go with this too. The way that it explains things is incredible. So I said, please give me the most basic template file for the HTML file. So I just started one at a time, and it gave me a really nice basic HTML file. Then I did the same question. Now give me a basic starter game styles file. So it gave me the CSS file here, and just a very, very basic CSS file here. And then it says you can customize these styles for the elements in your game as needed. And then I said, now I need a template for the game script.javascript file. And once again, it gave me a very simple, incredibly simple JavaScript template. But when I say incredibly simple, I'm not trying to downplay it by any degrees. My mind is blown by all of this because it's pumping out the answers in just seconds. You know, it's typing it almost in real time. So I said, okay, my three files are ready with the basic templates that you provided. Now how do I start my game? And then it went ahead and told me, you just open up the HTML file. So here's my HTML file here. The thing was, at this moment, the game was completely nothing yet. It was just these three template files that it has given me, which isn't a playable game by any degree. So I had to start building from there. And so let's keep moving on. So I was getting some tutorial here. What does let mean? And it tells me the let keyword in JavaScript is used to declare variables. So I'm like, okay. Simple enough. See, I do have some JavaScript experience, but in different ways, and so I really can't call myself proficient at all. I am pretty proficient in HTML and CSS, but it's not really getting used much here. What I'm learning very quickly is to code the game playability. It's almost exclusively in the JavaScript file so far. So anyway, let's keep moving on here. So I asked it, would this be enough? If the only code in your game is the code you provided, then it would not be enough to create a working game. So I pretty much went ahead and spit back what it had given me originally, and then it said, to create a working game, you need to define some functions that contain the code for these actions. So then I got a much more beginner-friendly code to start building my game upon. I know that it's probably hard to follow along with this text pad, so don't worry too much about trying to read it all. But anyway, so I kept asking a couple different questions. I learned about what JS lint is here, and that was very useful. sometimes when it's spitting out the code right now, there's like token limits and it will just chop off the end of it. And so I was dealing with that a couple times. I kept asking it to repeat it again, but at a certain point. Um, and anyway, just moving along a little bit. So I had to give me a pretty good JavaScript file, and then what I asked it here was, okay, thank you for the updated JavaScript file. Now give me the HTML file that will go well with that. And so it basically updated that original template that it gave me, and it gave me yet a new HTML file. So basically I'm building by asking it to build on top of the next thing, then on top of the next thing. So as you see, I asked for the style sheet that goes well with those two new files as well. So it did all that. And then what I started to do was actually open up the the HTML file that I had to start with, and I started asking questions. So I said, like, how can I get the score to be at the top? Because in the basic template JavaScript file it gave me, it put a score for the game right in the dead center. So I learned how to text align it to the top there, which is very much like CSS, but it takes place in the JavaScript code. And then once again, I said the text is still stuck in the dead center. So then it told me about this section here, the fill text. These numbers at the end are also important to positioning, as well as the positioning commands here. So I had learned that new little trick. Let me scoot that over for you. And yeah, so just moving on here, I haven't revealed the game yet for a very specific reason, which is because I've made a little bit of progress. I wanted to keep showing you guys so you're caught up. So then I wanted to add a background image, so I asked it, what file should I modify to change the background of the game to an image instead of black? Okay, and I thought that that would have been the CSS file, and it did give me that option. Here's an example of how you can modify the CSS file. But the problem with that was actually the background color was coming out of the JavaScript code. So I said the image is not showing up, and it said it's possible for a few reasons, and it gave me a few different solutions here. Make sure that the background file is saved in the same directory. So it was, and I told it that it was, and I said it's pointing to the image directory just fine, but the background still shows as black. And it wasn't working. I said I did all of those. What else? If you've tried the suggestions, then there's one possible solution. Use the image object in JavaScript to load and display the background image. And then, now that was what ended up working. I stopped trying to do it in the CSS file, and I called the image to be shown by the JavaScript code, which is where we're going to see it right here. Background image source is now a background PNG. So that was yet another thing I had learned. So now I successfully loaded the image as the background with JavaScript. Okay, so we're kind of almost completely unusing CSS at this point, or not using. So moving on a little bit, I said, would it make sense to use the background image as the game board? That was kind of a question I had. And I was thinking sort of a 2D platformer style, or like a top-down view or something like that. So it did say using it as the game board can be a good idea depending on the type of game you're creating. If you're creating a puzzle game, then it could be the image of the puzzle arranged in their final position, and then the player would use the mouse or keyboard to move the pieces on the game to recreate the image shown in the background. I thought that was a great explanation. Mike, perfect. So I said, let's pretend that the game's a 2D platformer where you must traverse the platforms and collect special things, avoiding obstacles. And then it said, if your game was like that, then using the background image as the game could be a good idea. In this case, the background image could be an overhead view of the game world, showing the layout of the platforms, blah, blah, blah. So I thought that was great. So I said, okay, please write me a prompt, and this is for an AI image generator, of the keywords that represent an overhead view video game terrain that is mystical and beautiful. So then it gave me a prompt here. And I actually said, make it only keywords, not sentences, and make it about a 2D terrain game. And so it gave me this beautiful prompt right here. And I know that my head's blocking it. So it gave me this prompt. And so in other words, I just used the text generator to make me a prompt for the image generator. And I went ahead and popped that into my Stable Diffusion local install over here. And look at that. I instantly get a beautiful video game terrain layout. So that was wonderful. So what I did, I go back, I said, okay, I made my background a beautiful 2D overhead terrain view. And I said, now how would I add a character into this game? And it instantly answers me. To add a character, you'll need to create an image file for the character and use the image object in JavaScript to load and display the character. So perfect, wonderful, gives me the code once again. So we're moving on. I said, "Awesome! Please write me a prompt to describe a cute little character, just keywords only." And it gave me these perfect little things. And I went back over to my Stable Diffusion and I popped it in. And I did make a little modification. I said a white background. Whoops, a white background, uh, transparent. Let's just do that. And then cute little character. And I can leave everything else it put. And I ran this a couple times and I looked for a cute little character. And of course I ended up finding one. Pardon the lag right now as I am recording a video at the same time. I did turn my crypto miner off though. If y'all aren't into crypto mining, stick around for some videos on graphics card crypto mining because it really pairs well with all this AI technology, in my opinion. But anyway, it's hanging up right now. But let me just show you. I generated a little alien character. I thought he was really cute. Stable Diffusion doesn't actually put out transparent images, but I just used a background removal tool to remove the image around the alien. And so yeah, there he is. And here's the terrain that I actually ended up using for my game just to start. It's actually not as good as this one I just put out for this tutorial, which is funny, but I can change it at any time. It doesn't matter. And if I'm confused, I'll just ask ChatGPT, right? GPT. So anyway, as you see, this is still completely stuck. I'm just going to hit interrupt. I think it's okay. Y'all get the point. You can use it to write your prompts as you work with the game. So anyway, my next question was, how would I make the character move around with the mouse? And this turned out to be a little bit trickier to get it just right, but it absolutely was able to figure it out. And so it's just because like I had different desires than what it was, assuming. So it does, the code that it gave me is to make it move around with the mouse. But I had specific requirements for it, like I wanted to update in real time when I moved the mouse, not every 10 seconds, and I wanted to do this, and it was able to answer every question. I did have some cutoffs with like network errors that I was getting on ChatGPT, and so I would lose it, so that's why I saved this one on a text pad. So let's just close this one now, and I'm going to show you guys how far I've gotten with my current game, which is not very impressive at all, but the fact that I wrote it with, I'm going to close this Stable Diffusion. Let's get this out of here. So here it is, guys. I have a very basic terrain here with a character that moves by my mouse, running in my browser right now. And then at the top you see lives and score, and I can erase those away, which is something I'll have to fix. I guess that's because they're not reprinting when I stop hovering over them. But anyway, you see I'm learning new terms and everything. So with that said, actually, I think that would be a good next thing to do is, look, if I move my character too fast, then he kind of leaves a trail behind. So we're going to go back to GPT, and I'm going to tell him when I move, or her, when I move my character, when I move my character quickly, there is a trail of images behind him. So I already worked on the trail earlier a little bit, but not at the high speed. So the update game function is being called multiple times per frame, it says. And so it's because it's called at a high frame rate. So we're going to set it to 30 like it says. So it just told me to change it. And I can tell you, I'm getting more familiar with this chunk of code right now. I'm not so reliant on copying exactly the output that he gives me. So I just set it to 30 and it's definitely still doing it. And so I'm just curious if I were to change it to 90, what it's going to look like. Is it even faster or what? Or is it even making a difference at all? And then what if we change this one to 500 and this one to 30? So, I don't know, it still seems pretty messy. So what I'll do is just go backtrack on exactly what I just said, which is that I'm not being so reliant on him, and I'm going to copy this whole chunk right here. And see how I just got a network error and it completely deleted all the history of that text right there? Good thing I copied it right before that happened. So that's something I've been dealing with as well. Anyway, so update the score. I guess I'm just going to copy this one here and do it up to this function and paste that and go back to my game and refresh it. Whoa! Now we got a super trail. So anyway, that's not supposed to happen. Um, I'd be curious what part of what I just pasted started to make that happen. And this is where being more familiar will help. Anyway, I'm going to keep it like this, and we just won't move it too fast. I think that instead of obsessing about the trail, I'd like to focus on something else for now. I want to do something that's maybe a little bit more doable right now. So let's add some treasure into this game. It will be gold coins that we can pick up. Let's keep it simple. How can I add a gold coin in the center of the game at launch, at start? We'll do at start. Alright, and so I just got too many requests. Let's reset the thread. It's an unfortunate side effect of having an amazing AI help you code games from scratch at record speed. So to add a gold coin in the center of the game, it will be an image. So I'm going to go ahead and relaunch my stable diffusion because now I want to make a gold coin. So we'll have that running in the background. So yeah, alright. So to make the coin interactable, you need to add some logic. Okay, the gold coin will be an image. It should spawn in the center of the map. In the center of the map at start of the game. And if you pick it up, no, actually I'm not going to add functionality to it yet because that's honestly probably asking too much in one command. So add a gold coin, create the image file, in your game's code create a new object to represent the gold coin. Okay, set the initial position to the center of the map. Right. I approve. And add the gold coin on your game's list of objects. Right, okay. Check for collisions between the player character and the gold coin. Yeah, I like it. Great. Send me the JavaScript file, Flocks. Oh, I just meant very specific. I like it. I meant write me the code that adds a gold coin into this chunk of existing code. It has no idea about the old code because I need to paste it in here. So here we go. I forgot I reset the thread. Boom! Now it has an idea. So while that's loading, I'm going to hop over to Stable Diffusion, and I'm going to let that finish. See that? It's just over here. It's like a freaking generator. It's just generating. And now I'm coming over here to generate something else. So we'll just do a white background of a cartoon gold coin that looks beautiful and shiny for a 2D game. And it even has a shadow. See, now I'm typing a Stable Diffusion as if it's ChatGPT. I usually just type keywords out on this thing, but whatever. So that one is a funny little Trump-looking hair. We want the full coin, so that's better. But I don't want really a human on it. In fact, specifically, I want an alien face cartoon coin because my character is a little alien guy, as we see. And oh yeah, the graphics card is getting a little bit overwhelmed right now. So I should stop playing my very advanced 2D game made by a AI, because as you see, it needs to be tweaked. What is it? What's it called when a game needs to be optimized? Hey, there we go. I like this. So we're gonna save this image to our downloads, and then we're gonna type in Adobe background removal, which is right here. And then we're going to go to my downloads and drag my image of my gold coin to here. Check out my music if y'all ever get some free time. Alright, so remove the background. It did it. So now I hit download, and as you see, now I have a removed background, a cute little gold coin. So we'll just let that save. Perfect. All right, close that. Go to my files. Here it is. Rename this to gold coin. Copy it and bring it over to my AI game, which is here. Boom. Gold coin. I like it. And he's a little alien, just like my character. Even though the head shape's different, we don't care about that. All right, so let's go back to this code that it gave me and see. I'm getting a little bit better understanding of the way that this file is laid out, thanks to ChatGPT teaching me code in one day. Just joking, I'm a complete newbie still, but alright. In the start game function, initialize the gold coin's position. Okay, perfect. Start game. I learned how to do a note, coin position. There we go. After the code that loads the character image, add code to load the gold coin image. Okay, where's the character load? Here it is. Load character image. So we go boom, and yeah, there it is. Load gold coin image. And then in the updated, so this is looking for the collision between a player and the gold coin. That is quite cool. And you know what's funny? I didn't even ask it. I didn't want to overwhelm it. So I didn't even ask it how to add score when you get the gold coin, but it totally told me how to do that. So that's pretty cool. Amazing, honestly. I feel like we underplay this big time. Alright, so there we go. I think that should be sufficient. So we refresh and see if I have a gold coin anywhere. And I do not see a gold coin anywhere, but that's okay because we're learning. So I think that I want to delete this check for collision for now because I don't want to mess myself up. You know what? No, it didn't change anything. I'm going to keep it. Sorry, I'm so back and forth. So, okay, I know what's wrong. The gold coin image file, boom. It had a dash when mine does not. So that probably doesn't help. And the next thing is, let's see, goldcoin.png. So, everything looks right to me. So what we can do is tell it, I don't see the gold coin. And then I pasted the code. Looks like there are a few issues. Not being initialized before they are used to draw the gold coin. Okay, so gold coin width are not defined anywhere in the code. Interesting. See, so I mean, I just would have been trying for no reason. So let's let this load. So define gold coin position. Alright, I'm gonna pop this somewhere like right here. And we already are calling these two, so I really only am adding that. Interesting. So I wonder if this will work. Whoa, okay, so that usually happens when there's a bracketing error, so let me see what I did wrong. Let us see, let us see. Is that better? Hello? Guess not. Maybe this? Maybe that? Okay. So why does that one work, but then when I added this section it didn't work? There must be something wrong. So let's just only add that. There we go. Interesting. Why would that break my code? Why would that break the code? Save, refresh, it works. Paste only that and hit save, and then it breaks the code. That doesn't make sense. Alright, well, time to ask ChatGPT, why does this code not work right? Thank you. Ah, interesting. So I'm doubling. Okay. Okay, good to know. I'm gonna go ahead and double check what exactly is the difference between those two, and they look identical, so I deleted it. We'll save that and try that. Oh, look at that. Okay, so at least it's not broken right now. He's not exactly. There we go. He's kind of off center there for a second. Okay. So alright. I think that's better, but I still can't find the gold coin, so I can't see the gold coin still. And I'm pasting that. Draw image call that draws the gold coin on the canvas. Gotcha. That's exactly what I was gonna say. So the problem I start to notice when it's typing all this stuff is that it always errors because it's drawing a lot. So this time it just stopped pretty soon. It only made it to right here. And when I'm looking at all this, I'm pretty sure it's identical, so I'm not going to copy anything. Alright, so that was pointless. You need to add the draw image call that draws the gold coin on the canvas inside the onload event handler. So I don't even know about an onload event. This one? I guess that's just an event that is known when you load the game for the first time. So like right here, onload. Is that onload? So, okay. So add draw image. Just send me the draw image code for the gold coin. Maybe it won't get tripped up then. Define gold coin position and size variables. I think we already have that right here. Load gold coin image. Draw the gold coin. Yep. After the background image has been drawn, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I can add this after the character just in case. See this? Boom. I remember earlier it said to add it after the character, so I just wanted to try. Then I guess I need to tell it where to be. So let's make this 200 and 200, and I still can't see it, huh? Now I'm inspecting at this point. That doesn't tell me nothing. Alright, because it's not CSS. So anyway, yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting it to show me the gold coin. I'm going to ask it again. I still can't see the coin. There's always several issues, aren't there? I'm defining it in two different places again. I thought I had fixed that earlier. I guess not, huh? Where am I defining it besides there? Lots of errors. Well, anyway, guys, I think that what will be the most efficient for these videos is to make a series out of them where I am working on this game and then giving you guys updates on what happens as I go. But this was just after about an hour of messing around with this and having a small vision for what I'm working on. Right now I don't have much of a vision for it except that there's going to be some coins, there's going to be some enemies, and when you bump into the coins you get score, and when you bump into enemies you lose a life. Up there, that's something I have to fix, is the way that erases the text. Fix the trail, and maybe even make the character animated, maybe make a mouse speed movement limiter. That could be cool. So I'll read that in a minute, but let me just check something real quick. Is it possible to limit the mouse speed in the browser game? Or make the character follow? I'll just ask that first. Add a check in the update. Rather than directly following the mouse cursor. Okay, so I was going to ask it after this, is it possible to delay the movement, to have like a delayed movement of the character, and this is exactly what I was talking about. So, perfect. Let me let that load. Alright, so, sweet. Let previous mouse. So this sounds odd to add, but I'm going to add that. And then this one would be the new function. But I don't think I would want to delete everything that's in here because of the collision stuff. So get the current mouse position. This would be like a better. So I guess we'll go with this just to start. See what happens. And then max speed, we would do 1. How's that? No? What about 0.1? Nothing yet. Y'all, clearly I got a lot to learn from this bot over here, but so far, we got a background, we got a character, we got movement, we got a score, we got lives, we got a coin in the making, and we have a delayed movement parameter in the making as well. And before we know it, we'll have a game that the character follows your mouse on a trail, collecting treasures and battling enemies. Maybe I'll add an on click to swing your weapon and do damage in a radius, for example. And then maybe I'll make enemies that follow you with a delay as well. And all of this is possible. And when you defeat maybe one level, you can get a new background, which will be level 2. And then just apply this on a mass scale and apply this to multiple guys working on it and multiple different teams, and apply this to just, I mean, honestly, anything. And I think the sky's the limit with this ChatGPT. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I seriously appreciate you watching my video. Please subscribe, please like, and please let me know what you'd like to see moving forward. Let me know what you liked about this video. Let me know what you didn't like about this video. And let me know what you think I should work on next, because I am ready to work on stuff. Alright guys, have a good one.